If you have ever sourced a product from China and felt like you were getting ripped off, or your supplier was hiding something from you, you are probably right. But here is the important part. Most Chinese suppliers are not trying to scam you. They are playing by rules that many foreign buyers simply do not understand. I have worked in export trade in Shenzhen for 13 years, and I have dealt with over 150 Chinese factories, trading companies, logistic agents, quality inspectors, and overseas buyers. And today I want to tell you 5 things that Chinese suppliers surely will never tell foreign buyers, and these 5 things can save you thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Choose number 1. Your quotation has hidden cost. When a Chinese supplier gives you a price, especially in the early stage, that price is not the full cost. Some new buyers think, great, the factory quoted me $20, then my cost is $20. Actually, no. That $20 may only be the basic product cost. It may not include the mod phase. It may not include the custom package. It may not include the logo printing. It may not include the bulk labels or Amazon FBA labels. Or the price is quoted based on the term of X work. So this is why many new buyers start with a product that looks very profitable, but after everything is added, the cost goes up by 20%, 30%, sometimes even more. Let me give you a real example. A buyer from the United States came to us for a small electronic product. The factory quoted his $20 per unit, but later he needed a customized package, a better instruction manual, safety tests, and barcode labels, and stronger export customs, and also with 1 round of quality inspection. By the end, the cost is not $20 anymore. It was around $26 per unit. That completely changed his profit calculation. Okay, here is a lesson. It would be great to introduce yourself first. Your business model, where you're from. For example, if you are a distributor or a project contractor, there are different costs on the product, on the package, on the certificates, and on the labels. Never ask only what's your price. Ask this instead. What exactly is this price included and what is not included? Ask them to separate the cost on product, on the mod phase, on the package, and the shipping terms. A professional buyer does not only compare the unit price, but compare the full landed cost. Choose number 2. If the factory does not reply, it may not because they are too busy. Some foreign buyers complain, I contacted 10 Chinese suppliers, only 2 reply. So they think Chinese suppliers are too slow or lazy or sometimes unprofessional. Sometimes that is true, but very often the real reason is like this. Your inquiry does not worth replying to. That's very harsh, but it is how many Chinese supplier failed customers. A goods factories receives many inquiries every day. Some are real buyers, some are price hunters, some are competitors checking prices, or some are students doing research, some are beginners with no clear plan. So when your inquiries looks weak, too small, or unprofessional, then the suppliers will simply ignore it. For example, if you write, hi, what's the best price? This is a very weak inquiry. The supplier have no idea what product you need, what markets are you selling to, and what quantity you need, whether you need certifications, or whether you are a serious buyer. But if you write like this, hi, we need this product with 200 pieces for the US market, and please quote me FOB Shenzhen, and also include one color logo printing and a standard export package. Please let me know your MO code, sample cost, production lead time, and the available certifications. That is completely different. Now the suppliers know you are, understand the process. You do not sound like a beginner, and you sound like a buyer worth replying to. Here is a simple rule. If you want factories to treat you seriously, your first message must be serious. Do not just ask the best price. Give product details, package standard, your market, quantity, and certification needs, and your expected timeline. Road suppliers are busy. Make it easy for them to say yes. Choose number 3. The free samples are almost never truly free. Some new buyers asking for free samples. I understand why you do not want to pay before you know whether the factory is good. But from factory side, the sample is not free. Someone has to prepare them, someone has to check them, someone has to pack them. Sometimes the factory has to stop the production line to make 1 or 2 pieces of sample. So when a supplier says the sample is free, the cost may go somewhere else. It may be added to your future back order, or the production may be increased slightly, or they just give a very free sample that is not exactly the same as your back order version. And this is where many new buyers make mistakes here. They receive the sample and think, great, the factory quality is good, but the back order may not be exactly the same. The sample may be made by a senior worker, or use the better materials, or the sample is checked very carefully, and the sample may come from the old stock, which is not from the current production line. Please do not ask, can you send me a free sample, but ask, will the bulk production use the same materials, same components, same package, and same production process as this sample? And also ask the supplier to confirm the sample specifications in writing. Take photos and keep record. Write down the sample's material, components, package, logo, color, and the functional details. The sample is not just for looking. The sample should be the standard for mass production. So you may have a question. So when will the supplier have a free sample? It's only when your order quantity is attractive, your company looks serious, and the sample is very easy to prepare, and or you already have the good relationship with the supplier. So before that, do not obsess over the free sample. As you know, a small sample is much cheaper than a filled bulk order. Choose number 4. The production delays are usually not because of raw materials shortage. If you have ever sourced from China before, you may have probably heard this sentence, sorry, the raw materials is delayed. Sometimes that is true, but many times that is not the real reason. The real reason could be that a big customer jumped the queue. It could be that your order quantity is small and the factory pushed behind the large orders. It could be that part of your order was outsourced to a smaller workshop and that smaller workshop had problems. It could be that the first production batch failed quantity control and the factory had to rework. And it could be that the factory accepted too many orders and over promised the delivery time. The factories usually do not want to tell these things directly to you. And why? Because the supplier do not want to admit that your order is not their top priority, and they also do not want to make you angry before goods are finished. So they use a safer excuse, a raw materials problem. Here is a practical way to check if the lead time is real. Ask for the production timeline. For example, you can ask when will the raw materials arrive, when will production start, when will first production photos be available, and when will package begin, and when is the earliest loading date. A serious supplier can be able to give you a serious supplier should be able to give you a clear production timeline. If they only say, don't worry, everything is okay, but cannot provide photos, videos, or specific dates, be careful. Another tip, do not wait until the last week to check production. Follow up early. Ask for the photos before when materials arrive. Ask for photos when production starts. Ask for photos when the package begins. Do not arrange the inspection before the packed and shipped. In sourcing China, delay is not always the biggest problem. The biggest problem is finding out too late. Choice number 5. The third-party inspection is useful, but it's not a magic. Many foreign buyers think I hired a third-party inspection company so I'm safe. Not always. Inspection is important, but you need to understand how it works. The inspector usually is a local person. The inspection happens inside the factory, and the factory may prepare the selected goods for inspection, and the factory may try to influence the process. I am not saying every inspection company is bad. Many are very professional. But if you rely only on a final inspection report, you can still get into trouble. For example, they may check a small sample size, and the factory may show a better quality cartons first, and the defects may not appear during a simple visual inspection, and the function problems may only appear after several days of use, and some of the local relationship can affect the quality of the inspection. So what should you do? First, choose a reputable inspection company, not the cheapest one. Second, give a very clear inspection checklist. Do not only say check the quality. Tell them exactly what to check. For example, the product size, color, logo position, the testing report, the job test, and the default classification. Usually a professional inspection company will give you a checklist first, so you can check which part align with your product. Third, ask for the photos and videos, not just the writing reports. First, never pay the full balance before the inspection is passed. And fifth, or when possible, inspect the goods before the goods are fully packed, because when all the product sold in the cartons, it becomes harder and more expensive to fix the problems. Inspection is not a guarantee. Inspection is a tool like any tool. It only works when you use it correctly. So let's quickly summarize. Number one, the quotation is not always a full cost. Number two, if a factory ignores you, your inquiries may not look serious enough. So number three, the free samples are rarely truly free. The samples may not present the mass production unless you confirm everything clearly. Number four, production delays are often about the priority planning and the outsourcing or rework, not just raw materials. Number five, third-party inspection is useful, but it does not replace a clear standard and active follow-up. So the lesson is this: when working with Chinese supplier, the key is not just negotiating a lower price. The key is to understand the rules of the game. A cheap price means nothing if the product is late, defective, or incomplete, or different from what you expected. Now I want to ask you, what is the worst mistake you have made with China? Was it a bad quantity, late delivery, or a supplier disappearing, or a hiding cost, or a product looked good in sample but failed in mass production? Share your story in the comments below, and I will read the comments and I may use your story in a future video. If you want a real insight or advice about sourcing from China, Shenzhen factories, expert in trade, quality control, negotiation, and supplier management, subscribe this channel. I have spent 13 years inside the industry, and I will tell you what most people will not. Then thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.